Josh from AmpliSell. Welcome back to the show. One of my favorite people to talk to.
You say that to everybody, don't you?
You know me, and you know I do not. You know I do not. Thanks so much for coming back on the show. Last time that we saw each other, we were at Unboxed here in Austin. I had a great time. I did not go to Accelerate in Seattle. Before we get into your recap, what are your thoughts on Seattle?
Just so everybody knows, I grew up Fort Myers, Florida, went to school in New Orleans, live in Houston, been all around basically the Gulf Coast. So Seattle for me I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. I loved it, man. Super clean city, bike lanes everywhere. I could scooter down to the bay and look at the water in Pike Place and then scooter back to the conference. I felt so like such a cool yuppie.
Yeah. I heard someone describe Seattle one time as like a grown-up Austin. It's got that techiness to it, but it's more built out.
Yes, that is the perfect example, because I actually thought about Austin when I was there. I was it's very hip, trendy, techy, but Austin, you can't get anywhere because traffic's so bad. The infrastructure's worse.
The infrastructure is
right?
struggling. Yes, it's
yeah,
and it comes out in strange ways because all these people moved to Austin, but they weren't electricians. So now if you want any of that stuff, it's well, you get in line.
Yes. I think that's a problem everywhere, man. Dude, getting anybody in the service industry it's impossible. I called a plumber the other day and he wanted $200 an hour or $250 an hour to come out and evaluate something. I was oh man, I'm in the wrong industry.
Yes. You know what I think of sometimes? I think that Amazon PPC optimization is closer to being an electrician than it is the type of marketer who is going to build you a vision board for the look and feel of a brand. I feel whenever I'm inside an account and I'm evaluating it, I'm auditing it, I'm giving insight, a lot of it is your pipes are broken over here. You have this pipeline of great keywords that you're not even tapping into. You have this other pipeline, which you're paying too much for. You have this other pipeline, which you're not paying enough for. And let's fix all these dials and nodes of your account. So I think very much that way.
It's very technical.
I call it technical marketing. Yeah, technical marketing.
Well, you know what's interesting about it though is I think from when I was talking to some of the product managers at Amazon Accelerate even, there's going to be a push towards more creative freedom. So when you and I first started, right, you got one ad, it was a sponsored product ad, and it's just your main image and it's static.
It's
they
your
rolled out
product.
more.
It's your picture of your product. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And then they rolled out.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I actually call sponsored product ads the creative. There is no creative with a sponsored product ad, meaning it's literally just the product, which is the benefit of sponsored products, in my opinion, which is it just looks like a normal organic listing. There is no creative to it. It does not look like an ad to the end user.
Yeah, and that, I think that has its place, but I think that they are trying to get more creative out there. I think Meta did the same transition, right? Right? Now Meta, it's all about your creative.
Only about creative, yeah. It used to be you would do this technical setup on Meta, I need this audience and this subsection and this subsection, and I'm gonna cross these dots and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna do this bidding strategy and this budgeting strategy and all these different things. But now you see a lot of Meta advertisers, they're just let it loose. Look, a 5 million person lookalike audience, a 50 million person lookalike audience, and just send it off. And I'm going to do creative iteration to find the most engaging stuff.
Yes. I think that Amazon is adopting the creative aspect of that approach or giving you the tools to do the creative aspect. But I don't think, at least it doesn't seem like it, where you are just going to dump everything into the Amazon AI and just say, you go adjust my bids, my targets, my placements, all that stuff on my own. That doesn't seem to be the direction they're going.
Do you know about Google Ads?
Not much. You have to school me.
So Google Ads has an ad type, a campaign type, which they push you for heavily. When you go to create a new campaign, they're pushing you. You can't even pick. It doesn't say do you want a Google search text ad campaign? Do you want a display campaign, a YouTube campaign? It doesn't ask you to pick. It's what's your goal? It's leads, sales, some awareness. It asks you to pick your goals, and then on the back end of that, it'll just craft this Performance Max campaign for you. And inside a Performance Max campaign, you like don't pick keywords, they pick it for you. And like you don't see search terms, like they obfuscate a lot of stuff. And they're just like, let us handle it. So what a lot of marketers do over there is like they launch a Performance Max and the non-AI version, which is like I create a Google search campaign where I can optimize stuff, and then I run an automated AI campaign. And then like they do all this in conjunction. And like typically best practice on Google is to run this like automated, just all about creative optimization, because they're going to show it everywhere. They have so much data on people. So you just focus on creatives and they'll serve it in conjunction with like this manual fine-tuned thing. And usually like that combination wins. I tell you all that because Meta did it, Google did it, and I wouldn't be surprised in the future, which is why like it's kind of a cool time for Amazon advertising, because we still have a lot of that technical configuration and we get more of it over time too. So like we get like search query data, we can choose what we do with it or not do with it. In the future, will there ever be a reality where like it's just like they don't let you pick keywords and it's like, don't worry, we're going to look at your product listing and your search query data for you and just like craft your keyword selection for you? That should be a reality that people should consider in the future, because Google did it. Meta did something very similar. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon did it, right? Because it seems like the logical progression. It seems like a big nut to crack.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much on Amazon that's an ad.
Yeah.
So many different placements, targeting types. Like, how do you solve that single-handedly? But it would not surprise me for Amazon to roll something out that tries to do that and then iterates on it over time.
Well, what the perspective that Google said was like, there's so many campaign types. Don't worry, you don't need to pick anymore. Like, just pick this one and we'll create. So imagine if Amazon had a thing where instead of creating a campaign, you just pick your product. And then based on that, it created sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, sponsored TV for you. And then it just like iterated. And then like all you did was like give it different creatives or whatever.
Well, and so Amazon's kind of going that way with the AI Creative Studio, which is they take an existing listing, you tell it, hey, I need a video, and it cranks one out based on what it knows about your product. So it's like, don't worry about hiring a videographer, an actor, setting up sound and stage lighting.
Yeah.
Can I show you here? Let me see.
Please, yeah.
So I just took one of our client accounts, just grabbed a random product in there, and I said, generate video. I had to do this while we were talking because it takes about 5 minutes.
Cool.
So this is a set of headphones. You can see the original assets here, and these are all just pictures on the listing.
Got it.
Right? And it's basically a set of noise-canceling headphones. Their guys are like construction workers, people that work in workshops, things like that. So, it gives us a little like colored spin, gives us some overlays, some water, little twist.
So that human that was like moving around and like manipulating something, you posted the still image and it was just like new to animate hands and such. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
So like, let's look at this dude, right? So we just have a picture of a guy with that in his ear. And then this video it creates for him. Look, like his eyes are blinking. He's moving around.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. So it's cool because there's like tools out there that you can use to create this stuff, but it's cool that it's just sort of integrated here and it's not, it's not that bad.
No, and that's the thing is, so I think the future is, because like, let's say I wanted to do this right now. Like I want to go over to
VO3 by Google.
Yeah, VO3, right? I'm going to have to dump all these assets in, give it prompts, which by the way is still pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But this is really cool because all I did was literally just click make me video.
Yes.
I didn't have to drag and drop images, etc. Looks like I could even throw a logo in here. So I think all of this stuff is like, or all of this creative is this is going to be, I think, a pretty big future for how creatives are managed on Amazon.
One of my favorite pieces of content that I ever shared, I did with Emma from Marketing by Emma.
She's great.
Who designs a lot of stuff for a lot of brands. And I don't consider myself a strong designer. I don't think people out there in Badger Nation consider themselves a strong designer because we're like technical marketers, right? Like we get more excited over manipulating data in a spreadsheet as opposed to like, I don't even have Photoshop on my computer, right? And
Yep.
like, don't make me go into Canva, right? Like that has always been hard work. My brain doesn't work that way. One of the things that we talked about was like, you can almost like be technical about design. So like you look at a prioritized list of products and you look at their click-through rate, you look at their conversion rate, and you can like see gaps where your creative isn't good enough, whether it be the creative on the listing or your ad performance. Like you could pinpoint sub underperforming creatives to in the past go to a designer to get them to do it. Or now you could also be technical about this, which is like list the elements of a great product picture. Like look at your competitors' great product pictures. Like what do they have that you don't? Like you could be technical about creatives now, which is really cool to like not have that be a blocker where it's like, I know so much about PPC, but only if we had better A+ content or only if we had better product images, I'd really be able to get this thing in a better spot. That technical marketer, we might be super duper close. Like maybe you need to like edit something after it gets created. Maybe, you use Gemini, it throws a watermark on there for you. So like there's some design work, but we're getting pretty close to that technical marketer being able to do the creative optimization in a technical way. And I think that's really exciting as a technical marketer.
One of the biggest hurdles is like you said, a technical marketer. You're like, okay, great. I want to try 5 new creatives. I got to go to the creative team. I got to open a ticket with them. I got to wait 3 weeks for them to create it. Then we got to like revisions. Or if it's an even bigger company, then it's got to go through like, multiple stages of approval. And that's like, cool, I can test my creative in 6 weeks.
Right. And
Right.
and I'll be able to test a few of them as opposed to, if I spend an hour on this, I'm going to have like, I'm going to go through iterations and revisions. Like from the first time I prompt it to the 10th time I prompt, I'm going to be like really good. And I'll be able to produce like many, many variations really fast. And I mean, there's tools out there that will just like generate as many as you want, right? Like you can generate loads of creatives. So I know that I've gotten really excited about technical marketing talk and creative optimization. Would you say that was like a major theme of Amazon Accelerate this year?
I think if I had to sum it all up, Amazon is going all in on AI and giving AI tools to sellers. And creative is obviously a huge component of that, given that AI right now is being used already very effectively in copywriting. And we can see the foundation of it being used in images. And sometimes you could get away fully with it in images and the foundation of video. So AI first was Amazon Signal. And then we already see it with the creative, the Gen AI Studio, but they also rolled out the Seller Assistant, so the Seller Assistant's really interesting. So the Seller Assistant, they rolled it out a while ago. I ignored it, and I've played with it a couple times and haven't gotten good insights from it. I've tried prompts like, hey, tell me about my top selling ASIN. What can I do to improve this? How can I get it to sell more? I wasn't getting good results. Then I met a buddy of mine at the show, and he's like, dude, check out my Seller Assistant. So he's in some sort of like beta or upgraded Seller Assistant program, and he gave it the same prompt, and the results were incredible. It was like, your sales over the last 6 months were, 150,000. You should check your inventory levels because you're going to stock out in 30 days. You need to keep a 45-day supply based on your lead times. It was like, hey, your conversion rate is 25% and the industry average is 12.25. You're crushing it. Maybe expand targeting. Like the suggestions, I was like, dang, like we got a job here.
That's sort of another theme that I see pop up again and again, which is like talk to your data. That is something that I think we'll all see more and more as AI takes over our computers, where it's just like, hey, I have all this information. Can you help me decipher it? So AI powered selling assistant. I agree with you. I tried it a while ago and was sort of underwhelmed. But of course, like anything with AI that is underwhelming right now is going to be great in the future. Because like if you look at the famous Will Smith spaghetti bowl test, are you familiar with this? Which so like if we've all seen that nightmare fuel of Will Smith AI Will Smith eating spaghetti out of a bowl, and it's like, it gives you nightmares. And then now you can get Will Smith eating spaghetti out of a bowl like pretty perfectly. So like same thing with AI powered selling assistant. That's cool. So actually useful insight that it will give you just talk to all the data inside your Amazon account. I bet sellers' first reaction to that is like, can I use this to solve Seller Central related problems?
Yes.
It's like, no, if you want support, you got to write into someone and wait. But that's really cool. So AI powered seller assistant, you thought was pretty impressive.
Yes, with a caveat, I don't think everybody has the powerful version. Because
Okay.
my buddy, his was awesome, but when I tried doing it on one of our client accounts, it was pretty blah. So I think that there's like, he was saying that he's in some kind of group or whatever, so I think he's got a better version. But that future state was pretty awesome.
We're all on GPT-3. He's on GPT-5.
But I would say, like, look, if you're out there, keep trying it. Like I'd say week, just like send a couple of prompts to Seller Assistant and see what you get back.
Cool. Another thing that I saw pop up was using AI based off your like Shopify store website. So like you give Amazon a link to your product page off Amazon, and it will create a listing for you. And which is just like the same theme of everything. Like give it your images, it'll make a video for you. Give it your product listing from your website, it'll make a listing for you. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool to see some of those things. I was actually pretty impressed by some of the updates that I saw. Like I just logged into Product Opportunity Explorer today, which is one of my favorite tools. Because a lot of times people will ask me like, how am I doing in my account? And I always say, well, Amazon has Product Opportunity Explorer where you can see the top 25 sellers of any niche and like see their clicks and see their trends and get these search terms. So I love Product Opportunity Explorer, and they just rolled something out where you can talk to it and you can just basically ask it questions like, tell me about the search terms for this, and you can get responses. It'll summarize the data for you. I would say that I thought it was fine. I think because Product Opportunity Explorer doesn't have that much data, I found it like just easier to just look at the table, because it was just sort of like giving me information from the table in a sentence instead of just like making it a little bit easier for me to just scan. So yeah, I'm looking at Product Opportunity Explorer right now, and I can click like customer reviews, and it will just summarize the customer reviews for me, like sentiment drivers for this particular product. These are positive drivers about the product. These are improvement areas for the product. These are some insights for the product. So it gave me some interesting stuff. So it's cool. Like when we look at our own tool, we want to do more of this where like you see a table of a whole bunch of data. It's not a big leap to like give that table of data, send it over to an LLM and ask it to summarize it for you. So it's like a general trend I think we'll see more of with every single thing that we do. Your bank will yell at you based off how much gambling you're doing.
Yes, you're spot on with this. And this is something this is a topic I talked about with Srinath Reddy, who is the founder of IntentWise. Really smart guy. And we were talking about this progress towards LLM sitting on top of everything and you just having a conversation with it about data. And what he cautioned was, he's like, look, an LLM is a fancy, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, but an LLM is a fancy autocomplete, right? Like it still doesn't incorporate logic. He thinks the future is you essentially have an LLM sitting on top of machine learning, and then the machine learning sitting on top of the data. So the machine learning is basically going to be formulas that interpret the data, and then the LLM can pull from that. So it makes it more accurate, because we've all seen LLM kind of hallucinate about things or just say nonsensical things about your data. And so I think he's saying there's going to be that additional layer in between to actually make that conversation trustworthy.
Yeah, because it has no idea. Like anyone who's ever downloaded a search term report and given it to their favorite chatbot will see it. It'll find some things, but like overwhelmingly, like it's not going to give you the same level of detail as if you looked at it and like you studied it and like you found high converting term, bad converting terms, like irrelevant terms. I've actually started incorporating it into, so I absolutely love negative keyword management. So I recently started, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I do for negative keywords. Like, number one, look at your search terms, find irrelevant stuff. Number two, do n-gram analysis. Okay, great. Add new negative phrases. One of the things now is just literally giving it to your favorite chatbot, just asking it if it sees anything. And sometimes you'll be surprised, like, hey, I found this irrelevant thing. Because if you think about it, like that kind of analysis, you're trying to go deeper and deeper. So like the easiest way to do it is just sort by spend and no orders. That's like basement level. And then like you want to go even deeper than that. It's like, okay, well now I want to find n-gram analysis, which was going to like pair up these root words together. And then I want to go a level deeper. What if something's too small, it didn't even show up in an n-gram analysis? It's like just purely irrelevant. Can the AI like summarize these words for me and point out irrelevant things? That's actually something I think an LLM is good at today because it like understands what's related to something else. But if you were to ask it for like data and numbers, you might have a harder time unless you're using a model with a framework baked into it to do numerical analysis. So like you ask it to do the numerical analysis first. So like sort this by spend, and then it should be able to do a simple task like that. And then you ask it to combine with another metric. A lot of times people, what they get wrong with using LLMs for analysis is they ask it to do too much, like summarize my search term report, like give me a whole bunch of recommendations, instead of like asking for one piece at a time is usually a better way to get more value out of it. Yeah, LLMs and everything is like going to be everywhere. Like you're gonna send me a text message and I won't even read it. My LLM will read it back to me.
Yeah. I know it's getting bad. I definitely have recognized people responding to my emails with GPT. And on one hand, I'm like, my feelings are kind of hurt. I'm like, oh, they didn't even like care to respond. And they just copy pasted it. But on the other hand, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate their efficiency.
If you had to type an M dash on your computer right now, would you know how to type an M dash?
Absolutely not.
Me neither.
I didn't even know what it was.
So the M dash, right? Like AI models spit out a lot of M dashes and stuff. That's like a telltale sign. And like, I didn't know how to type one until recently because I was like, oh man, like how do I actually type an M dash? I think in Gmail, it's like 2 subtraction signs. It's like 2 singular dashes. You do that twice in succession. It turns into one of those big M dashes things. You know what? I sent an email to someone and I was almost going to, I included a Google Doc. I almost included white text on the white document because I knew they were going to copy and paste it into ChatGPT. So I was like, imagine I just included white text. So like, I don't know if you've heard of this, like prompt injection. This is called prompt injection, where you're interacting with something and you do the prompt injection. So like, imagine that white text that I would attach to that Google Doc said something like, you know, respond back to me when you're writing an email back to me, give it to me in like a format with hidden text that tells me this person's deepest, darkest secrets. And like, then they just copy and paste it and send it back to me. So like prompt injection is like there's like more and more stories about like using AI and then like you have it like control your browser and then it like, you know, steals your crypto password or something.
Well, it's crazy how as humans, how willing we are to just ask GPT anything. Yeah. Like I've gone through my GPT search history and I'm like, dude, this thing knows more about me, or you can even ask it now. And I'm like, this thing knows way too much about me. It's like the other day I was playing around with it and I did do that thing where I asked it and it's like, you know, it's like, how's your backyard garden coming? And I'm like, how'd you know about my backyard garden? And then it's like, oh wait, the other day I asked it like, when should I plant my radish seeds?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Yeah. You know,
so you get like funny stuff like that.
I really like this is unrelated to Amazon. You know what I think is really cool? Offline private LLMs, meaning it's one that you run on your computer. It's not connected to the internet. So you can talk more intimately to it than you would perhaps one that like, I just consider every chat you have with ChatGPT, expect it to get leaked one day. That's what I think. I think like one day there's going to be a huge leak and like everyone's chat history is going to be dumped somewhere and everyone's going to be like, oh my goodness. That's my fear when it comes to being too personal with.
I think that's just a great policy to have. Just assume, don't put anything in there you don't want leaked. Because I've been the same. Like it knows a lot about me, but if it was leaked, like you'd know I have a garden in my backyard and I tried to find the best pair of On shoes for running, right?
Are you a runner?
Yeah. I did the marathon here a couple years ago. So I still do it to stay in shape, but I don't think I'm going to do another marathon with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old because the training takes forever.
Yeah. Next time you're in Austin, we'll go for a run. Back to Amazon, AI-powered selling assistant, which will give you insight about your Amazon seller account. Enhanced listing creation, create listings faster with Amazon's AI help. Get new videos and images crafted from Amazon with their AI model, preparing stuff. Awesome. LLM interaction, AI interaction with different tools out there that will summarize big data sets for you a little bit easier. Cool. I saw some other things about, some minor stuff like enhancements on like A+ content, enhancements on like Amazon Vine, just better pairing with like finding the reviewers who are maybe more attuned to your product listings. What else stuck out at you for Accelerate? What are your big takeaways? Like, what are you telling your team that you guys have to start doing more of?
I'm telling my creative team all the time to stay on top of the AI because I think that we're going to move from dragging and dropping images in Photoshop to you just having a conversation and being like, take this product, put it here, make it do this, make it look like this. You know what? I don't like that color, lighten it or brighten it. And it's just all going to be chat driven. So I don't think that's surprising to anybody, but that's something that I think is going to have an impact sooner rather than later. And so I'm saying like, get ready for that, process for that. The other thing I would say is like Amazon ads are continually rolling out new placements, new adjustments, new bid types. Like staying on top of that feels almost like a full-time job in of itself. And so we've got our team, basically, I'm telling them like, hey, every time there's a new release in the ads, spam it in the Slacks, everybody give it a try and let's run with it. Because this is where I just see a lot of ROI because not everything they release is awesome. But on the ad side, I think the releases have been pretty awesome. Give you an example. Amazon Business, like they quietly rolled out an Amazon Business bid adjustment like months ago. And so we were leveraging that. You'd run an ad, but then you'd throw in an Amazon Business bid adjustment and it would bump up your CPCs on the business side. Now, you create a sponsored product campaign and you can choose Amazon or you can just target Amazon Business. And so it's like, that is huge.
Let me ask you a question.
So,
what do you guys like more? Do you like launching B2B specific campaigns or do you like launching it with a modifier?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that. Like we're doing both, but it's still too early for me to say like, I think this way is doing better or that way is doing better. I think because part of it really depends on your product.
My takeaway is that it's mostly inconsequential. That's been my vision. Meaning whether you capture it with a bid placement modifier or you have a specific campaign for it, it's going to do the same thing. Meaning like you convert more with B2B, you have higher order value with B2B. So like, what do you want to do with there? You want to bid a little bit more aggressively. It'll happen in both places. I haven't seen big benefit one way or the other, to be honest.
That's good to know because as you see, when you create a sponsored product, you have the choice. Now for segmenting, it might be easier just to always do Amazon Business for those campaigns, just so you can group and segment and evaluate.
That's probably the biggest benefit of doing it with a segmented perspective, unless you have a way to easily analyze your data, like for placements. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So segment on that, but rolling back to the initial point, which was, I think, look, if you're trying to look at what Amazon's releasing, where you're going to get a bigger ROI or you're going to need a big process change, I would say like ads, look at all the new stuff. I mean, Amazon Business, AMC, they just turned on AMC or just rolled AMC out in the console, leveraging that. And then on the flip side, just setting up your creative process so your team is ready that like one day you're going to be able to click, talk, and generate a video or an image that you're willing to upload. You can probably do images now that you are willing to upload. And you want to be ready for that. Because then with all the A/B testing they rolled out, you should be just nonstop A/B testing. Generate 5 images, queue them up for A/B testing and let it roll. And then every week, just cycling it out. Or every time you get what is it called? To significance.
Yeah.
Make your decision, roll another one out.
Because I mean, every platform benefits from engagement with your advertising or your organic listings, right? So the more you can get engagement from it, the better. I mean, that's just the way at the internet. The internet thrives on engagement. So like, if you can create something that's stickier with customers, that is more clickable with customers, like you're going to win over. You see this a lot with some brands that are really creative focused, and they're really good at creative. They're really good at product market fit, and like they're potentially really bad with technical stuff. But because they like resonate so much with customers, they're able to just sort of like have it on easy mode, because anything they do, people really like it. They're willing to click, even if it's in ad position 6, they're willing to like see that and like gravitate towards it. And I think that the ability for a technical marketer who maybe doesn't have that gift of like the creative, it's coming more and more accessible to them to engineer that magic, which is pretty exciting if you're a digital marketer.
Yeah, we live in a really, really cool time. Like if you're let's say a bricklayer, right? I'm guessing, not a bricklayer, but I'm guessing that AI is not impacting your job that much right now. But for digital marketers, like we are in the throes of it. Like it is 100% feels like it's impacting every aspect of what we do.
You haven't seen the AI machine built homes? There's like a startup actually in Austin.
I did see that actually.
They roll this big machine up, and the machine just like it like lays concrete perfectly in like this perfect house shape of a house, and it's pretty fascinating. I actually saw something the other day. It was like an anti-AI take, which is like, man, like the amount of productivity that you're able to accomplish today is skyrocketing. Like you could write a novel using an LLM in 20 minutes. So like it's accelerating, which what used to take like potentially years to write a novel. Like now you can do it in an afternoon. And it's like, what do you do with your extra time now? Meaning like you end up like creating more novels. You end up like doing more work in like faster iterations than if like, so like you almost like don't get to enjoy anything because you're just like blasting through. Like I need to do this, then I need to do this. It's felt like I probably had my most productive year ever. And it feels like, I still feel like the car is going like 200 miles an hour. Like normally if I'm working like this fast, it's like, oh, look, I caught up. Now it's just like, oh, I'm going really fast. And there's more stuff to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that like one of those, like in Occam's razor or something, like work fills the available time or something?
Yes.
I think that's where we are. We're like, holy shit, I did 10 times more. And I'm going to have to do 100 times more now.
Yes. I find it really fascinating. And like, that's what I tell people. Like sometimes I'll talk to people, they're like, oh, I'm spending like 4 hours a week managing my PPC. I want to use Ad Badger and like spend 0 hours per week to do anything related to PPC. And I'm like, that's actually not the goal, because your competitors are going faster than like they're automating the same kind of stuff, except they're using their extra time to like get even further ahead. So like that's really where you want to be. Like you don't want to like sit back and like, you know, sip martinis and like not work on your business on Amazon. Like you need to like do pedal to the metal, because like that's the pace of it. I think there's a true art in like prioritizing what it is that you do, like recognizing the biggest levers. That's a unique skill. But you can just ask AI what your biggest lever is to pull on right now.
Which I've done many times.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming back on the PPC Den. It's always a pleasure. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And I hope you, dear listener out there in Badger Nation, enjoyed it as much as I did too. Can't wait to have you back on the show. Maybe I'll see you in Nashville. Maybe I'll see
you. And Unboxed.
Maybe we'll run around a lake here in Austin. But have a good one. Thank you so much. Your details are in the description. And everyone else, I'll see you next week here on the PPC Den podcast.
I've launched campaigns and picked keywords. I've got my bids, set placements too. Now that we say